Yo, what's up, guys? And today we have our Superman review. I'm so excited for this video because, oh my god, this and Fantastic Four are by far my most anticipated movies of the year. And honestly, I'm just so happy that I left the theater not disappointed, right? uh, so obviously I liked it. Uh, it just did exactly what I wanted it to do. And I don't know if you guys know, but you know, that's all I ask for with this and Fantastic Four. Just be good iterations of these characters. Uh, with that being said, I think before we get into the actual review, it's important to know how I feel about Superman as a character and like my connection with them, because I think that's what a lot of people have to know before this movie. I think that's gonna kind of play into how you feel with this movie. So, Spider-Man is my favorite superhero for a lot of different reasons. We don't really need to talk about that right now. He's just my personal favorite hero. Batman's probably the runner up. And Superman should be number three because he's the third most popular hero. Well, he's probably the most popular hero, but he's definitely top three. Those are the big three right there, right? Nobody would really argue with that. So he's not, though, because, you know, I never really grew up with a Superman. It was Henry Cavill, really, and that was it. And nothing against Henry Cavill because we're going to be talking about past iterations of this character and past versions of these movies because that's important. But there's going to be no shade thrown. This is a super controversial movie right now, and I think it's kind of sad to see that because that's not what it's supposed to be. It's just supposed to be a movie that all of us can enjoy no matter what and talk about and feel the same way all together. And it's supposed to bring us together, I feel like, not causing, like, drift us apart because of different just opinions that we have, whether that's about like politics or just about something as small as, oh, I liked Henry Cavill more and wish Henry Cavill was still playing the character, or I like David Cornsweet, or I like Zack Snyder, or I like James Gunn. So that's just my connection with Superman. You know, he has the potential to be one of the best characters of all time. He is one of the best characters of all time, but I feel like on the big screen, he kind of lacks a little bit. Um, I never really have a connection with him that much because I didn't grow up with like the Christopher Reeves movies. And I mean, I've seen them, but not in a long time. And I just really want this to be a good, definitive new Superman, which I'm happy to say that I got that from this movie. Uh, so, with that being said, let's talk about what I liked about the movie. Not really get into the positives yet, just talk about the movie as a whole. So, Superman makes you feel like, I feel like some people have said it the best where they said it's a movie that we really need right now. Uh, Superman's a great character and he represents a lot and he means a lot to a lot of people and he's just a friend. He's the best of humans, even though he's not human. Um, so I think that's important right now, and I think that James Gunn and David Cornsweet and the whole cast and crew as a whole just delivered here, and I'm happy to say that. Uh, Here's my review on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, and yeah, that's what I think. Like I said, I think he is the best version of Superman we've seen by far, and that's no shade, like I said, but it's just how I feel, and that's just a personal opinion. Obviously, I think a lot of people will disagree with that, or maybe even kind of agree, but be like, let's give it a little bit more time. I'm definitely down with that, and I can definitely see why people will have those opinions. And I just think the fact that it's a fair conversation to have right now, I think that says that James Gunn did a good job here. I want to see it a couple more times just to make sure these opinions are still how I feel after seeing it, maybe for a second or third time. Uh, but also, I want to make this review not be too long, so let's get into it. I'm planning on making another video with like maybe a film breakdown and share to you guys why I like this movie so much and just some maybe like Easter eggs and like cool details and like the story behind it and just a more in-depth breakdown slash review and just overview of the movie, if that makes sense. Okay, with all that being said, sorry for the long intro and yap, but with that being said, let's talk about the positives. There's so many, and we're gonna start with the characters. I literally mean it. 100%. Every single character in this movie is done good. Almost too good. Because a lot of people's worries were like, oh, why is there so many heroes and how's Superman and the main cast, the important people, going to have time to shine? Don't worry about that. They handle it really well. The big three obviously are Superman, Lois Lane, and Lex Luthor. And the other characters I want to talk about here are Crypto and Mr. Terrific. They are probably the 5 best characters in the movie and the ones I like the most. I think they were also done the best in my opinion. David Corenswet, like I said, I think he's the best Superman actor. Man, everybody I've heard and I've talked to, whether it's personally or online, they all say that they love him, and I feel the same exact way, and I understand exactly why they feel that way. He loses so much in this movie, but he represents the character so well and does such a good job playing him. He never loses hope, and that's what this represents, is hope. So, yeah, great job. I'm not sure if that's because of him or because of James Gunn, but probably James Gunn, but I just want to give him credit because he does an amazing job there. Lois is probably a hard role to play, but Rachel Brosnahan did an amazing job. There's not that much I can say without giving spoilers, so we'll probably save more talk about her for later. But yeah, she did a great job, and she does have, I love that they make her have more time than everybody else in the Daily Planet, because obviously that's, you'll see, one of the negatives, just small negative. But you know, they do make it, those people, the rest of the Daily Planet crew is kind of like sidelined for a lot of the film, but they do something with Lois and make her still be involved more, so she still has the screen time. Third character, Lex Luthor. Bro, Nicholas Hoult plays him so well. We know that he auditioned for Superman and Batman, so it might have been a little bit of method acting there, but he is such a hater, and he does an amazing job. Next, Mr. Terrific. Great job, great character. I really want to see him again. He has some really good scenes in this movie. Super funny, steals the show. Doesn't actually steal it, but like definitely like the unsung hero of the movie, like the MVP who, like, but if you're taking away the MVP contenders, then he's the MVP, right? If that makes sense. 6th Man of the Year, if you guys understand that reference. But then we have Crypto, who's the heart of the movie. So funny, so silly and cute. Just only positive stuff to say there. The next stuff I want to talk about is the action. Man, the action is really good. Not only in cinematography too, like how the action's shot is really good, but also like what they do and like how creative and like comic booky it feels. Everybody's been saying it's so comic booky. They're absolutely right. Yeah, I just really like the action. I love how Superman's action is. Like, he uses his powers, but he saves more people more than he fights, and I love that. Especially like how it's just so different from what we got with a little bit of a more darker Superman going to this who saves people. Really good. James Gunn does a lot of good action sequences. I don't know how I would compare it to the other ones like Guardians of the Galaxy and the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, but it fits right in and it deserves to be in that conversation. And I also want to talk about his movies as a whole now. Where does this go in them? I'm probably going to say the top 2 are between this and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. You guys know I go to the movies to feel and to have a good time. And that's what both those movies delivered. And this one, it's really good, you know? Makes you feel a lot. I teared up like 3 or 4 times, I'd say, just because how well, and I feel like how like relatable Superman is, but how understanding James Gunn and David Corenswet are with this character, and just the way that Superman treats the people around him, even though he's an alien and he's more powerful than them and he's probably better than them, he just doesn't act like that. He just wants to fit in, you know what I mean? And that's what makes him so good. The next thing I want to talk about is the theme. The theme, oh my god, it's so good. They play it a lot. It's overplayed, but it's so good. And it's really not overplayed because it's so iconic and so good, and just it makes me like just feel hopeful and bright and uplifted every single time. So amazing job there. Now let's get into the negatives. There's not a lot of huge negatives. It's just like more nitpicks. That being, I wish we got more of Hawkgirl, and I kind of wish we got more of Metamorpho. I'm sure that they're gonna have a lot more to do in this DC universe because they're really big and powerful and important characters. Same with Guy Gardner. I think we know he's gonna be in Lanterns, but he wasn't really part of the negative part. He's more part of the positive part, but he didn't do all that good to get mentioned there. Um, I wish we got more scenes of Clark, Lois, and Jimmy, like the trio as a whole. We don't really get a lot of that because Clark and Lois are already dating, so there's no like hiding the identity really. He hides it from them, but to Lois, not really. Um, and then the other nitpick is just a little bit of the writing stuff. Just a few choices I didn't really love, but it wasn't really all that alarming or anything. Nothing concerning, and James Gunn wrote it, and he's a better writer than me, obviously, so I can't really complain. I also just wish we kind of got a little bit more Ma and Pa Kent because when they're in it, they're really good. They just don't really have a whole lot to do, which I'm okay with. But I'm hoping that if we get like a sequel or next time we see it, I hope they get more to do. Same with Jimmy Olsen. But yeah, that's gonna pretty much do it because like I said, I don't want to get too much into detail and spoil anything. I want everybody to see it fresh for themselves, make up their own opinion, and then come back and like maybe like probably next week or something and talk about it more and share why I personally love it and why I think that like this could be really good for DC coming up, and they have a lot of time and chances to get things going on the right track. Uh, Starting over new isn't really a bad thing. It's necessary, and you got to start somewhere, and this is a great place in my opinion. So hopefully you guys agree. Thank you guys so much for watching, and peace out.